prison is dying. A decade ago, the first great wars had spread blood throughout the lands. The mounting clans were slaughtered. Half of their realm fled behind their great runic portal. The others driven mad out of fear of the Ragnarok. For in their dreams, they saw their own dark fate. The Empire was governed by a feeble monarch. He mourned the loss of his beloved queen and heir. The children of the Empire sing death songs. An empire without an heir could only portend more chaos.
Hey guys, and welcome. Wacky here. Today we are going to play Disciples 2 single player. A new saga. There are 4 races to choose from. The Empire, which are humans. The Undead Hordes. You can guess who they are. The Mountain Clans are the dwarfs. And the Legions of the Damned, which are the demons. And we are going to play them in the first campaign. This is our dude. We're going to choose this portrait. There are 3 lords to choose from. The warrior, mage, and the guildmaster. The warrior. He has 15% of health regeneration per day for himself and his troops. Every other hero, aka warlord, has a 5% per day. The mage and the warrior is limited to the 4 levels of magic. The mage can cast every spell twice a day for half the cost and has all the levels, the 5 levels of magic, which you can imagine is a stomper in late game. The guildmaster. He has a specialty in thieves. Thieves are very useful, which you will see later on, and has 50% less need of gold to grow his cities, which is an early greatest advantage, because you'll be always damaged. Your troops will be always damaged and you will need to rest, and your cities will be giving you more defense for the pesky enemies that will come your way. So it's very useful in early game, and the thief specialty is absolutely great when you want to mess up your enemy's troop formation, because they have this ability that makes enemies reform their lines. So you can basically put a caster in front in the first rows, so it's like mind-blowing. Very good stuff. And we are going to play on the hardest difficulty. Let's jump in. Enjoy the intro.
More than a decade has passed since the first great wars ended. When infernal beasts and demons poured forth from the ground, the human empire did their best to resist the unholy onslaught. Alas, the beloved queen was killed, and Uther, the sole heir, disappeared from the realm. The combined forces of the Empire and Mountain clans with the retrieved runic wisdom sealed the infernal rift before the Accursed One could arise. The menace posed by the undead hordes came to an end with the beheading of the Dwarven High King Sturmir. Mortis's vengeance accomplished, her minions fell lifelessly to the ground. Their languid voices echoed with no answer. Bards feared to weave tales of the suffering brought by the first great wars. Stories of these terrible events traveled only on witches' winds. Wise are the men who carefully plan their assaults. The legions of the damned needed no such wisdom. They do not know pain as humans do. A beast who has suffered millennia of pain pays no mind to the slash of a mere sword. When Bethresen was imprisoned by the mountain clans a decade ago, the legions feared their doom was near. Left without the protection of a leader, they scattered, fleeing terrible reprisals and brutal inquisitions. The legions awaited the waning of the runic seal's power, the seal that would hold Bethresen captive for a decade. A decade passed. The legions looked on as a dwarf crossed the land towards Bethresen's mountain dungeon. This was no ordinary dwarf. He was the High King's son, Gimner Cloudkeeper, sent to enact rites that would strengthen the runic bonds that imprisoned Bethresen. There were rumors that the mountain clans had discovered powers that this time would seal the gate for a century. If Gimner were to be killed before the ritual could be performed, the legions could liberate their god.
Day 1. Please enter a name for your first leader. Our first leader, Demos. Dwarf. What? Demons here? Leave this land before we crush you. These are Mountain Clan territories. Leave now while you still can. Cultist. Master, shall we kill the dwarf messenger before he wants others of our presence? He must be stopped. Alright. Day 1. We are going to turn on the banners so we can see these dudes on the map more visible. We are going to turn on the resource bar so we can easily manage it, and here's our minimap with everything we need, from our income to our resources, from a minimap. So good. And our land coverage. Oh, yes. So here's our capital, named Solixa. He's our Demos, our leader, the most ferocious warlord of ours. Here's our city defenses. Basically our basic unit, a melee unit, our basic range unit, our champion, oh man, you will see his stats, and our more advanced melee unit, the Devil. Okay, let's see our troops. Oh, not here, here. So, our champion, Ashkael, leader of 8 infernal Jorats, or whatever it's pronounced. Ashkael was chosen by Bethresen to guard the Legion's capital, never to leave it unprotected. His damage is absolute monstrosity of 250, 95% to hit, initiative 90, which is a mind-blowing, and he hits everyone. So, to be able to beat someone's capital, you can't just rush them. You have to have upgraded army with upgraded initiative, because 60, 50, not 40, 35 ain't gonna happen if you attack someone just head on with rushing. So I am fond of this tactic, to be, you must basically earn to defeat someone's capital, earn the right to defeat someone. Yeah. Alright, so we are pretty